Welcome to the next final chapter video. This is a series where I finished all the series I started in the last probably 15 years and that I haven't finished. So before we do a little recap of what series I already finished or DNF'd and which series I started, I owe you my final thoughts on Breathe You by Celeste Grant, the second part of the Pieces of Broken duology, and I finished this today and I liked the book, but there were some points that I didn't like, so it was a 5-star prediction, but in the end it is more like a 4-star read. It deals with very heavy topics, so look up the trigger warnings for the series because it is necessary. It is the story of Evangelina and Blake, and they both meet each other in the first part, Live Me, in college, and it is romance, new adult, but with heavy topics and have to deal with a lot of mental health problems and some other things. But I think the characters itself are a little bit toxic in their behavior sometimes. That's the point I didn't like about the book. I can't remember if it was also in book 1 because I read book 1 years ago, but I think both are very, very dominant in their behavior and want to make decisions for the other part of the relationship. So Blake wants to make decisions for Evangelina for her whole healing process from trauma, and it is all not fast enough for him, and yeah, he wants just a happy relationship sometimes, and that it's not how it goes. And also Evangelina has the same behavior, and she wants to make decisions for Blake's life that he has to make on his own time, I think. So yeah, that's what I didn't like, but I also liked a lot of things about this book. I liked the whole healing process of Evangelina, and that she learns to stand up for herself and fight for herself, and that it's all not her fault. So that is a very, very important message, and I think this series is also for all fans that liked The Way I Used to Be by Amber Smith, and the second part, which is called The Way I Am Now. So if you like The Way I Used to Be and The Way I Am Now, you will probably also like Live Me and Breathe You. And that's my final thought on that. And now we can do a little recap of the last month for my series. Okay, I have my notes ready. I have finished 5 series so far, which are the Hot Candy series, the Sherlock Holmes series, the Allegiant trilogy, the Degrassi series by Stephanie Ross, and now the Pieces of Broken duology by Celeste Grant. So 5 series finished, and I DNF'd 4, which are The Poppy War, Part of Your World, the whole interconnected standalones, the series which book 1 is called Stealing Infinity, I don't know the series title in the moment. And I DNF'd Kingmakers. So we have, all in all, 9 series finished or DNF'd, and I've started 3 new ones, which is the Poppy War, one of the DNFs, Kingmakers, also a DNF, and I've started the Butcher and Blackbird series. Also don't know the series title at the moment. So these are the 3 series. 2 of them I DNF'd, so we are still on track. That is why I have give you my final thoughts before the wrap up. So that we are on track, because I said I can start a new series if I have finished 3 old ones, or 3 series in general, and that's what I did so far. So we can go now to new series, and the next one I will probably finish is the Game On series by Kristen Callahan. This is the Hot Shot, the 4th book of the series and the final book. It is about the quarterback Finn Manus and Chess, the photographer, that makes nude photos from the football players in the beginning of the book for a charity calendar. So we will see how this goes. If you have seen my latest videos, you know book 3 was not my favorite. And I can't wait to see how book 4 goes. I will start this today with a friend, so again a buddy read like the whole series. So the reading pace is not only my decision, and we will see how fast we read this book. I will update you on that. And I will now go reading. I really need to work on filming updates and do it more often, because I finished 2 more books in the meantime. And let's start with the 4th Game On book, because I've finished another series with it. So yay, another series finished. That is always something to celebrate, and I really loved the story. I loved the humor in this. The time flew by while reading, and yeah, it really entertained me. I loved how the relationship between Finn and Chess is developing over time, from friendship to more, and that they are both very honest about their feelings. That Finn is very directly that he wanted more at one point, but that he doesn't want to pressure her, and he really don't pressure her and lets her take her time with everything, and she has to be the initiator to more in the relationship, which I really loved. And all in all, this is my 2nd favorite of the series. My favorite is still book 2, and my 3rd favorite book 1, and my least favorite is book 3. I think that is not surprising for everyone that followed my journey with these books, because I think I started the series after I joined YouTube. So there are updates to all of the books in my videos. The journey now comes to an end here. I have finished the series. They were all buddy reads with Yasmin, a friend of mine, and we now need to look up some other books that we can read together. Some that are in this shelf somewhere. So we will see what we read next. I will update you on that. And before I do that, I owe you one book from the last final chapter video, and that is Zodiac Academy: The Awakening as Told by the Boys. And I finished it yesterday, so on October 1st. It was the last book from my September TBR, and I really loved it. It is the first book of the series told from other perspectives, mostly by Lance Orion and Darius, and it gives so much more background to the story that was surprising. Not a lot of scenes that are in both books. Of course, there are scenes that are in both books that we have now from different perspectives, because they are important for the storyline. But really, this is mostly background to the original story, and it gives the story so much more depth and character development. It was positively surprising, and the ending of this really surprised me. The last 2 chapters, there were some things happening that I didn't expect it, because they weren't mentioned in the main series. And if it would happen, what was mentioned here in the last 2 chapters, we haven't had Zodiac Academy as it is. The story would have taken a whole other turn, and that was surprising. And I can only say, if you have read Zodiac Academy, please read this because a whole more backstory, a lot more emotional scenes and trauma that is now explained, and why some characters like Darius acting like they do. And now I will not continue Zodiac Academy at this point, because I will sneak in the Ruthless Boys now. I don't have them here as a physical copy yet, but I want to read them next, because the Ruthless Boys is a series in the world of Solaria where Zodiac Academy is taking place, and Ruthless Boys plays 5 years before Zodiac Academy, and some of the characters from Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac are also in the Zodiac Academy series, and I want to have the whole background knowledge on them before they are getting more important. So I will read the 5-book series next, and I think I will make a special video for the series where I read all 5 books, so it takes a bit of time until this video comes out, but I have it on the plan, and I will start now in October or maybe in November. I don't know yet. I need to see how good I am with reading my October TBR. It depends on that, but I will do it in the future, and 100% you will get this video, I promise you that. And the next book I'm reading now is Gold by Raven Kennedy, the 5th book of the Played Prisoner series, and I will give you updates on that. I promise you more updates than on the other books before, because I really need to get better on this, and I will see you with the first update. Don't mind my skin, I haven't done my makeup yet, it is early in the morning. You can see I tried a new primer and it fucked up my skin, so I have to deal with that for a few weeks now. But I'm making the video because I want to tell you my first thoughts on Gold by Revan Kennedy, the 5th book of the Plated Prisoner series. So be aware that this could be a bit spoilery. It is a dark fantasy romance, and it starts in book 1 as a Midas retelling. So we have Midas, the king, and Oren, his favorite saddle. Oren is our female main character in this series. She is made of gold. Her whole body is gold, and she is held in a cage in his castle to protect her, and she's okay with that because in the past she had to deal with a lot of trauma, a lot of bad things that happened to her. So she really thinks the cage is protecting her. And yeah, Midas manipulate her a lot and make her believe that he loves her and that it's all okay what he does. And that's the beginning of Oren's story. And we are now, or I am now, on book 5 of the series, and I love this series. It is so good. It is one of my favorite romantic fantasy series, and it is dark romantic fantasy. I don't know if I mentioned this, but be aware of that. And yeah, I am now 25% in the book, and I needed some time to remember what happened in book 4 because I've read it a few months before, but I think I have it now. And yeah, remember now the most important things of book 4, especially the ending, which was very, very heartbreaking. I don't want to tell you much about the plot and the story because it is book 5 and I don't want to spoil anyone. I have a lot of questions about the people from the village. What happened to them? I really want to see a reunion of our main characters. I don't know if this will happen. A lot is going on here, especially in the north of the continent. So in the 7th Kingdom. And yeah, I can't wait to read more. I'm really intrigued, as always, when I read these books. And I already have book 6, Goldfinch, the final book of the series, on my e-reader. So I can hop right in when I finish this book. And yeah, I will update you on that. Hopefully it will not destroy me and give me some hope for a reunion. But we will see. And I will talk to you later. Yes, Oren, go for it. And directly the next wonderful highlight here. I love it. And I love how sassy Oren is at this point. You will pay for that. I'm made of gold. I can afford it. I love everything about that. No, I don't like this. Please, please not. No, 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 no. The betrayal, oh my god. I can't believe it, what a plot twist. I have a big update for you. Big because it's been a few days since I filmed an update. So that's totally on me. But I'm now halfway through Gold by Revan Kennedy. And I really, really love the story. Even if I want my relationship back. But the world building here is really, really interesting because we get new parts of the world building in the 5th book of the series. And I really like how much Oren changed throughout the series, and she is such a strong character in this book. What I really, really love and like, I love strong female characters, and we really get how desperate Slate is in this book because of things that happened in book 4. And I get it. I get his rage mode. Totally. I love the side stories that we have about our other characters that have mini POVs in this book as they had before in book 4. And I also love the story about Melina. I hated this side story before, but I'm getting into it now and really hope we get some romance there. We will see. I can't say much to the whole story because it is all spoilers at this point in book 5. But I really, really love it and can't wait to read more and to update you more on that. And this is not the only book that I've read over the last few days. I've also started Saving Six by Chloe Walsh, which is perfect for the final chapter series because this is the newest German book of the Boys of Tommen series, and the next book will be published in January 2025, I think. So I have to wait a little bit for it to continue Joey's and Eve's story then. But at this point I have read the first 65% of the book, again with Michelle. So thank you, Michelle, for the whole discussion in the Discord. We chat a lot about the story and the characters because we write something to every chapter, and there are a lot of chapters. And yeah, 65% are the first 414 pages of Joey and Eve's story, and we do a little time travel here when we start book 3 of the series, because this story begins way before Shannon and Johnny's story. It starts when Joey joins high school. He goes to the BSc, so not Boys of Tommen yet, because he goes to the normal high school and not the private school because his family can't afford it and won't afford it. And yeah, we know the struggles in the family itself. A lot of violence because the father is an alcoholic and rages a lot and tortures his family. And we see that now through a different perspective, the big brother perspective, because Joey is the one that protects his whole family, or tries to protect his family as best as he can. He takes care of his family, of his siblings, of his mom, and he has a lot of responsibilities as a 12-year-old and growing older, so much that he don't know how to handle it and needs to find ways to handle it, and finds bad ways to handle it because he starts to drink and take drugs and smoke. That is his only way to find relief, and starts to repair cars with him. And her father let him promise that he don't start something with his daughter. And additionally, Joey has to deal with a lot, and he don't want to let Eve be part of it. So he shoves her away again and again, but she's very stubborn and doesn't give up. But half a year after they met the first time, she has a boyfriend. Over the next few years, an on and off boyfriend. His name is Paul. I don't like him. He's very toxic and thinks that he owns Eve, and that she has to do what he wants to. But thankfully, Eve is very stubborn and self-confident, and deals with him in her own way. But it is a very toxic relationship, and I really want Joey and Eve to be together, and I can't wait that we come to this point that we have at the end of book 2, or in general in the books we know at this point. So Binding 13 and Keeping 13, we are not there, and I think maybe we are there at the end of book 1 of Joey and Eve's story. So at the end of Saving 6 we'll see. But at this point I can say that I liked Binding 13 and Keeping 13 a little bit better, because I was more invested in the story. I don't know where I stopped, but I was more invested in the story of Joey and of Johnny and Shannon, because it was more emotional. Not this story is not emotional, but especially Johnny's POVs are more that he tells that he has certain feelings, and there is not much showing, so his thought processes are how he deals with these feelings, because he doesn't want to deal with his feelings, and shoves them away all the time, because he has so much going on that every feeling is too much for him and he just has to function. But I really want to continue this tomorrow and read the last 200 pages over the next 2 days, and I will give you an update after I finished. And surprisingly, I read another book, or listened to another book, which was Archangel Shadows. I spent my weekend puzzling and listened to my audiobook because I was in total hyper focus as always when I'm puzzling. So I started Friday at 9 p.m. and puzzled till 3 a.m. in the morning and listened to the audiobook, and then finished the puzzle on Sunday because I was away and met with friends on Saturday, so I had not much time to puzzle. But as I finished my puzzle, which I can show here, I also finished the audiobook of Archangel's Shadow. This is book 7 of the Guild Hunter series by Nalini Singh, and I liked the book as all the books before, but unfortunately I decided to DNF the series at the point, not because the books are bad, but because for me every book in this series has a really similar plot and always the same elements, so every book on its own is good and literally solid 4 stars, but all in all I can just give it 3 stars because it is always the same concept, always the same world, obviously the same fantasy part, because we have the angels, the archangels, the vampires, the humans. We have a main plot that goes through all the books, but the main plot is very, very, very slow. So we had almost no progress in book 7 for the main plot. And yeah, we have a romance part that is the main part of the book, and we have always a crime that was committed at the start of the book, and they need to find the murder or something like that throughout the book. So yeah, always the same concept, and the series has at this point 9 more books, and book 10 will be published next year. So the series is not finished, and that means if I want to finish the series, it will be at least another 10 books, so around 100 euros for me when I want to buy the books, and that is too much for me for okay books, so I will DNF the series at this point. And yeah, that's it for me. That was the 3rd series that I finished / DNF'd in this video, and hopefully, fingers crossed, I will finish the Pledged Prisoner series throughout this week. We have now Tuesday, and I will film this video until Sunday, or maximum until Monday, because I need to cut this video and edit it on Monday. So I have a lot to read because I am on book 5 now, have half of book 5 read, so need to read the other half and need to read the whole book 6, which is another 605-ish pages, so a lot to read, and I will continue reading now. We need to talk about this book, but before we talk about goals, I want to tell you that I finished Saving Six by Chloe Walsh, and I really liked the book. It is a 4-star book for me. Sadly not a 5-star book as predicted before I started this book, because there were a few chapters that I really didn't like and that really frustrated me, because I thought they were just bad. But most of the chapters were really good. A lot of excellent representation of mental health problems, depression, trauma, drug addiction, alcoholism, all these things. It is really solid in that part and really good. So if you search for that, you should definitely give it a try. The whole book plays before Binding 13 and Keeping 13. So this is all a flashback, all 650 pages. Not really a flashback, but before the story we know, because Eve's and Joey's story start way before Johnny and Shannon's story. And there is a lot going on here, and I can't wait to read book 4. And I already saved myself a review copy of that, so that I can continue right after it will be published. And as I said, a lot of really good chapters here, and a lot of emotions in these chapters that are portrayed. As I said before, sometimes the emotions are not as deep as I wished, because Joey doesn't feel that deep. Not that he doesn't have these emotions, but he shoved them away because he doesn't want to deal with it, because there is already a lot going on and every feeling is too much, except his feelings for Eve, because Eve is his shining star, his glimmer of hope that he has. And I really like that, but beware, this is really heavy, really deep topics and really dark sometimes, even if there are some really light chapters that I also liked and that made me smile and giggle. But a chapter I really hated was the first time of these two. I won't go into detail here, but I didn't like that chapter at all. It all went wrong for me and it could have been so much better. But that is only my perspective, and I'm now finished the series at the current state. Not forever, because there are more books coming, but I need to wait for that to continue the series, and I will continue the series together with Michelle next year. We already discussed that, and she will wait for me because we love our discussions. And yeah, can't wait to read Redeeming 6 with her. But after I finished Saving 6, I continued Gold by Raven Kennedy, and we need to talk. We really need to talk. Oh my god. I read now until chapter 46. So the last chapter that I've read is 45, and oh my god, chapter 45 was so good. I'm really hyped. I'm really into the story right now, and I don't know what to say. I'm a little bit speechless, but puzzle pieces falling into their place now, and I'm here for it. We have all in all 3 storylines in this book. We have Oren's storyline, we have Slade's storyline, and we have Queen Melina's storyline. which is quite interesting. I really didn't like Marlene's chapter in the beginning of the series, but I wished for a redemption arc at some point because I saw that Marlene is not a villain character as itself. She is a character, you made me the villain. And I said in book 1, in my discussion to book 1 with some friends, that I really wish she will have a redemption arc at some point. She has now. Oh my god, it is so good. I love it. I love every piece of it. I love romance parts in this book that I didn't expect it, but I wished for in book 3, and I love this romance story that is happening here. And yeah, it was not the romance that I wanted as I started book 5, but this is the romance that I need right now and that I'm craving for. And I really have a crush on a new Shadow Daddy here and can't wait to read more of them. And I can't wait to read more of Oren's story right now, because the last chapter 45, wow, just wow, it was brilliant storytelling to bring all these parts together now, and I was shocked but in a very positive way. And yeah, can't wait to read more now. The next POV is Slade's, and we will see how that goes on. I really hope he will travel to Sixth Kingdom soon and yeah, sees what also happened at the end of book 4, because he doesn't know at this point, and it would make things that he wants to accomplish much easier. And yeah, I will continue now and hopefully we'll finish today. There are, let me see, there are 90 pages left. That should be possible to finish today. So I will no longer chat with you and start reading. I finished book 5 and I cried over the end, over the last chapter, because it was heartbreaking. Why? I'm so glad I waited with reading this book until book 6, the final book in the series, was published, because no way I can live with this end. The last chapter was horrible, and you can see I cried. But all in all, 5 stars. Full 5 stars. It is so good. So good. And I loved it. Especially the last 150 pages. Something like this. I just laughed. They were so good. So many twists and turns that I didn't see coming, and like I said before, just puzzle pieces that fall into places. And yeah, a picture that is made over time with things happening from book 1 to book 5 now, and I can't wait to read book 6 now. And I need to read book 6 because this end, horrible, bad cliffhanger here. And because of that, I will now start book 6 right now and we'll continue with the series, and hopefully we'll finish the series this week. As I probably mentioned before, we will see 600 680 pages, I think. Was it? Yeah, 680 pages. And I will dig right into and will chat with you with the first update here. Before I continue and inhale the rest of this book, I wanted to give you an update. I started this book on Thursday evening, did nothing else except reading this book yesterday on Friday after work until I went to bed. So now I'm halfway through and I love it. As I said, I couldn't live with the ending of book 5, and yeah, I expected the things that are happening now, and that the things are bad and heartbreaking and all these emotions. But I also really love it. I love the love story part about 2 side characters that we have here. That makes my heart very happy. I also love that we have a reunion of characters here, and the reunion was something that we are basically working for 1.5 books now. So it is a reunion of our main characters, and I'm really here for it. As I said, I'm inhaling the story at this point and can't wait to read the other half of the book and to finish the book and the series. It makes me both happy and sad to finish the series, probably this weekend. But I can't wait for it. I can't tell you much about it because everything is spoiler at this point, but it's giving me all the feelings that I want from a really good book. It has plot twists in it, twists and turns, action scenes, emotional scenes, spicy scenes. We have everything that I need for a potentially 5-star read. And yeah, I hope the ending don't destroy the whole story after 6 books. It is Monday now, editing day, and I can say I have finished Goldfinch last night at 2 a.m. and I've read the whole second half yesterday, as I said before, and I've cried my eyes out 2 times. I cried so hard that I had to take a break from reading because there was things happening, characters sacrificing themselves for the greater good and things like that I couldn't handle emotionally because I was so attached to these characters at this time. And yeah, so much going on. There were a few things in the last book that I didn't think were necessary for the plot. But all in all, a very great read, and the whole series is a 5-star read for me, and I love it. I love this whole series so much, and the characters. There was so much character development over the whole series. A really good plot. Stunning written villains. The good villains we love. The bad villains we absolutely hate with my whole heart. In this series, 2 of these hating villains and some of the loving villains, and really great romances and a plot that builds up from book 1 to book 6. There was only one ending for one certain character that I didn't like, and I very, very much hope that we get a spin-off for this character in the future. Fingers crossed. Because I don't want to let it stand like this. There were 2 very long, extensive sex scenes in this book that I didn't like, but all in all, as I said, a really, really great book and a really, really great series. And with that, we are coming to an end now. I have read 7 books in this video, these ones and these 2, so 1 audiobook and 1 ebook, and that means I have continued 2 series and I finished 4 series for this video, and that also means that I can start now 1 new series, and I already know which one I want to start, and you will see that on my November TBR. I want to make it a surprise, and yeah, there was a lot going on in this video because I filmed for around 3 weeks. That was the only way I could finish that much books. And with that, we are coming to an end now. Give me a bird emoji in the comments, or tell me if you've read one of the series that I've mentioned here. Like the video, subscribe to my channel if you want, and I will see you next time. Bye!